My mother insisted it would only be temporary. "Just until your sister gets on her feet," she said, stirring her coffee with the precision of a surgeon, the career she'd wanted for both her daughters. "You know how Daisy struggles. I'm Michaela, and I should have known better." After 15 years of building my practice, establishing a sterling reputation in women's health, and carefully cultivating relationships with the best hospitals in the city, I let my mother's voice worm its way into my head one more time. "You're being dramatic," Mum said when I hesitated. We were sitting in her pristine kitchen, the same place where she'd orchestrated countless family manipulations. "It's just adding her to your malpractice insurance. You act like she's going to burn down your practice." I set down my untouched coffee. "She might. For God's sake, Michaela, she's your sister." "Who failed her boards twice." "And passed the third time," Mum snapped. "Stop being elitist. Some people take longer to bloom." I pulled out my phone, showing her Daisy's latest Instagram post, partying at 3 a.m. when she had clinic hours the next morning. "This kind of behaviour is exactly why she needs your guidance." Mum reached across the table, her perfectly manicured hands clasping mine. "You're the strong one. You always have been. Daisy looks up to you." "No, she resents me." "Because you never give her a chance." Mum's voice cracked, right on cue. "I'm not asking forever. 6 months, maybe a year. Help her build her patient base. Show her the ropes." I withdrew my hand. The last time I helped her, she borrowed my car and totaled it. She was 19. She was drunk and uninsured. Mum's eyes welled up. Here it came, the finale. "I'm not getting any younger, Michaela. Before I die, I just want to see my girls working together, supporting each other. Is that too much for a mother to ask?" 3 days later, I was signing the paperwork, adding Daisy to my practice insurance. But I wasn't completely naive. I opened a new folder on my computer labelled Sister's Keeper and began documenting everything. Every late arrival, every incomplete chart, every medication error, every patient complaint. I backed up emails, recorded conversations, and kept meticulous notes. Cyrus, my colleague, watched me with knowing eyes. "Your sister's 40 minutes late again," he said one morning, dropping a file on my desk. "I know," I added it to my log. "You're enabling her." "I'm building a case." He leaned against my desk. "For what?" "The inevitable." I didn't have to wait long. 6 months in, Daisy started borrowing prescription pads. 8 months in, she began missing crucial follow-ups. At the 10-month mark, she prescribed the wrong dosage to a pregnant patient. Thankfully, our pharmacy caught it. "You're being controlling," Daisy whined when I confronted her. "Mum said you'd be like this." "Like what? Professional? A perfectionist? A know-it-all? God, Michaela, not everyone can be you." I started requiring her to CC me on all patient communications. She forgot half the time. I mandated weekly review meetings. She showed up hungover. I created protocols for high-risk cases. She called them suggestions. Mum's response: "You're too hard on her. She's trying her best." Trying her best. Those words would come back to haunt us all. The lawsuit arrived on a Tuesday morning. I remember because I was reviewing charts when my receptionist brought in the envelope, her face pale. "It's from Callahan and Associates," she whispered. I knew the firm. They specialized in medical malpractice. The details hit like body blows. Patient name: Sarah Martinez. Age: 28. Pregnant with twins. Presented with preeclampsia symptoms. Daisy had missed the signs, dismissed the concerns, failed to order proper testing. Result: emergency C-section, 1 baby lost, the other with permanent complications. My hands didn't shake as I read. My breath didn't quicken. Instead, a strange calm settled over me, the kind that comes when your worst fears are confirmed and all that's left is action. My phone buzzed. Mum's text: Daisy's hysterical. She needs you. Family meeting at my house tonight. I looked at the lawsuit, then at my sister's keeper folder, now bulging with nearly a year's worth of evidence. Mum thought she was calling a meeting to plan damage control. She thought I'd cave, like always. Shield Daisy, like always. Sacrifice myself, like always. But as I stood there, holding the weight of my sister's negligence in my hands, I already knew exactly what I was going to do. And this time, nobody would see it coming. You need to see this, I told Cyrus, sliding my laptop across my desk. It was 3 months before the lawsuit, and I'd just compiled my weekly log of Daisy's infractions. He scrolled through the document, his frown deepening. She prescribed antidepressants without checking drug interactions to 3 different patients this week. Jesus, he rubbed his temples, and your mother still thinks that I'm being paranoid. Yeah. I pulled up my email. Look at this exchange from yesterday. The email chain was typical. Daisy, me. Please confirm you've reviewed the updated protocols for high-risk pregnancies. Daisy, you got it? Me, I need verbal confirmation that you understand each point. Daisy, OMG, stop micromanaging. I'm not stupid. Cyrus leaned back. You're documenting all of this. Every single interaction, but it doesn't seem to matter. Yesterday, she was 2 hours late for her morning appointments. When I confronted her, she said she was having a mental health moment, and Mom backed her up. Speaking of your mother, he hesitated. Have you ever wondered why she's so invested in Daisy's medical career? Before I could answer, my office door burst open. Daisy stormed in, waving her phone. Did you seriously email my patient about rescheduling? You missed the appointment, I said. Mrs. Rodriguez waited an hour. I was stuck in traffic. For the 3rd time this month? She rolled her eyes. Some of us have a life outside this office. Some of us have professional responsibilities. God, you sound just like... She stopped, catching herself. Like who? Nothing. Whatever. Just stay out of my patient relationships. She turned to leave, then spun back. Oh, and Mom wants to know if you're coming to dinner Sunday. She's making your favourite. Classic deflection. Classic Mom. I'll check my schedule. After Daisy left, Cyrus shook his head. You know what this reminds me of? Those nature documentaries where they show a disaster building in slow motion. Thanks for the pep talk. I'm serious, Michaela. This isn't just about missed appointments anymore. She's making dangerous mistakes. I pulled up another file. Look at these lab orders from last week. She's not even reading the results properly. When I tried to discuss it, she said, and I quote, Mom says you're just jealous because patients like me better. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Daisy's crying in my kitchen. What did you say to her? I showed it to Cyrus. See, right on schedule. You need to protect yourself, he said quietly. Legally. I am. I opened my bottom drawer, pulled out a thick folder. Every incident report, every email, every text, backed up in 3 different places. Smart, but I meant... My phone rang, a number I didn't recognize. Dr. Michaela speaking. The voice was clipped, professional. This is James Marshall from Thompson & Associates law firm. I'm calling regarding one of your patients, Rebecca Wilson. My stomach dropped. Rebecca was Daisy's patient, a high-risk pregnancy case she'd insisted she could handle. Yes, we need to discuss some concerning decisions made in Mrs. Wilson's care. I met Cyrus's eyes as I listened to the lawyer detail a series of missed warning signs, ignored test results, and delayed interventions. When I hung up, my hands were shaking. How bad? Cyrus asked. Bad enough that they're investigating. I pulled up Rebecca's chart. Daisy missed obvious signs of placental abruption. The baby! I couldn't finish. He reached for my phone. Call your mother, now! This has to stop. I dialed, but Mum's response was predictable. You're overreacting. Daisy says Mrs. Wilson was non-compliant with treatment. That's not what the charts show. Well, charts can be interpreted different ways. You know how lawyers are. Always looking for someone to blame. Stand by your sister. Mum, this isn't about loyalty. This is about... Family is always about loyalty, she snapped. I raised you better than this. After I hung up, Cyrus placed a business card on my desk. My friend Everett, he specialises in medical liability. I'm not there yet. You will be. He headed for the door, then paused. Michaela, whatever happens, remember, you tried to prevent this. That night, checking my work email one last time, I found a message that made my blood run cold. It was from a patient's lawyer. Your partner made a deadly error. Formal notification to follow. I closed my laptop and stared out my office window at the darkening sky. Mum's voice echoed in my head. Family is always about loyalty, but loyalty shouldn't mean suicide, and I was done setting myself on fire to keep Daisy warm. The lawsuit landed like a grenade in our Sunday family dinner. I placed it on Mum's polished dining table, right between the roast chicken and green beans. What's this? Daisy asked, fork halfway to her mouth. Sarah Martinez, I said. 28 years old, lost one twin, the other has permanent brain damage. Ring any bells? The colour drained from her face. That's not possible. She was fine when you ignored her blood pressure readings, when you dismissed her headaches, when you told her spotting was normal at 30 weeks. Mum set down her wineglass. Michaela, please, we're eating. Perfect time to discuss malpractice, don't you think? Since we're all here, being family. Daisy pushed her plate away. You're blowing this out of proportion. She probably just wants money. Her baby is dead. These things happen sometimes. You can't blame every bad outcome on the doctor. I pulled out my phone, opened my recordings. Daisy's voice filled the room. Yeah, whatever. She's probably just being dramatic. I'll look at her charts later. Mum reached for the phone. Turn that off. No. I played another. Blood pressure's a little high, but she's fine. I have dinner plans anyway. Daisy stood up, hands shaking. You recorded me, your own sister. I documented everything, every missed appointment, every ignored lab result, every time you came in hungover. You've been spying on me? I've been protecting myself. Mum's chair scraped back. That's enough. We'll handle this as a family. Handle what? I laughed. The dead baby? The brain damage? The fact that Daisy should never have been practicing medicine? You're being cruel, Mum said. I'm being honest. Finally. Daisy started crying, right on cue. Mum rushed to comfort her, shooting me a familiar look of disappointment. Your sister made a mistake. We all make mistakes. This isn't about one mistake. This is about systematic negligence that I warned you both about for months. So now you're the perfect doctor, Daisy spat. Never made a wrong call, never lost a patient. I've never lost a patient because I was too busy partying to read their lab results. Mum stepped between us. We need to focus on solutions. Michaela, you'll handle the lawsuit. No. The silence was deafening. What do you mean, no? Mum's voice had that dangerous edge. I mean, I'm not covering for her anymore. I've already contacted my lawyer. Daisy's tears stopped instantly. Your lawyer? Everett Brown. He specialises in medical liability. He's helping me separate my practice from your negligence. Mum gripped the back of her chair. You would throw your sister to the wolves? She threw herself to the wolves. I'm just refusing to jump in after her. This will ruin her career. She ruined her own career and nearly ruined mine. Daisy lunged across the table, sending glasses crashing. You self-righteous bitch! You've always been jealous that patients like me better. Patients liked you better because you never said no to them, never gave them hard truths, never actually did your job. Girls, Mum shouted, stop this immediately. Michaela, you're the older sister. You need to. Need to what? Save her again? Clean up her mess again? Risk my license, my reputation, my entire career because poor Daisy can't handle responsibility? She's family, Mum whispered. Family doesn't mean sacrifice. Not anymore. I grabbed my purse and headed for the door. Behind me, Daisy's voice turned sickeningly sweet. Mum, tell her about... Quiet, Mum snapped. I turned back. Tell me about what? They exchanged a look that made my skin crawl. Nothing, Mum said quickly. Just, please, let's discuss this rationally tomorrow. I opened my email app, scrolled to a message I'd found earlier that day. You mean, like this discussion? The one where you told Daisy not to worry because I'm just the insurance policy? Mum's face went white. What else should I know, Mum? What other family secrets am I carrying without knowing? Neither answered. I walked out, got in my car, and drove away from their stunned faces. My phone started buzzing immediately. Texts, calls, voicemails. I ignored them all. At home, I poured a glass of wine and opened my laptop. There, in my inbox, was a message from Everett. Documentation received. Meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. to discuss strategy. I typed 2 words. I'm ready. Because I was. Ready to burn it all down. Ready to stop being the family safety net. Ready to show them exactly what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness. My phone buzzed again. Mum, you'll regret this. Family is forever. I typed back, watch me. Your mother did what? Angela leaned forward across the coffee shop table, her latte forgotten. I'd tracked down Daisy's former friend, hoping she might know something. I wasn't disappointed. 20 years ago, Angela continued, lowering her voice, your mum was working at Memorial Hospital. She was head nurse in the paediatric unit. I remember, she quit suddenly. She didn't quit. Angela glanced around before continuing. She was forced to resign. There was an incident with medication dosages. A child almost died. The pieces started clicking. And she covered it up. She made a deal. Quiet resignation. No charges pressed. But it destroyed her reputation in the medical community. That's why she pushed both of you so hard into medicine. I gripped my coffee cup. To restore the family name. Exactly. But Daisy... Angela hesitated. Daisy never wanted this. She wanted to open a yoga studio. A yoga studio? Your mother said it would bring shame to the family, said one daughter being a successful doctor wasn't enough to erase the past. She needed both of you to succeed. My phone buzzed. Another message from Mom. Please call me. We can fix this. I ignored it. So Daisy never wanted to be a doctor? God, no. She hated medical school, failed those board exams on purpose, hoping your mum would give up, but Mum never gives up. Angela nodded. She told Daisy that if she didn't pass the 3rd time, she'd write both of you out of her will. Said she'd tell everyone Daisy was an addict who stole prescription pads. Was she? Stealing prescriptions? No, but your mother knew no one would believe Daisy over her. Your mum, she's scary good at manipulation. My phone buzzed again. Daisy this time. You've ruined everything. I hope you're happy. Angela saw the message. You know what's ironic? Daisy used to admire you so much, said you were the only one strong enough to stand up to your mother. Until Mum turned that admiration into resentment. Yeah. Angela pulled out her phone. I have something you should hear. She played a voice memo. Daisy's voice slurred with alcohol. Mum says Michaela will fix it. She always does. She has to. That's why we put everything in her name. If it goes wrong, it's on her. Mum's so smart. I felt sick. When was this? 2 months ago, at a party. Daisy was drunk, crying about some patient complications. Said your mum had it all figured out. They set me up. They've been setting you up your whole life. Angela touched my hand. Look, I'm not proud of keeping quiet. Daisy was my friend, but what they're doing, it's wrong. I pulled out my laptop, opened my evidence folder. Would you be willing to make a statement? About what I know? Yes. She straightened up. Your mother needs to be stopped. This isn't just about Daisy anymore. Just then, my phone lit up with an email notification. From our clinic's shared cloud storage, the one Daisy apparently forgot I had access to. Inside was a folder labelled Mum's Plan. Voice memos, emails, text screenshots, a whole digital trail of their conspiracy. They documented everything, I whispered. Of course they did, Angela said. Your mother never leaves things to chance except she didn't count on me finding it. I forwarded everything to Everett, then looked at Angela. Why are you helping me? She took a deep breath. Because 6 months ago I brought my sister to your clinic. Daisy was her doctor. She missed obvious cancer markers. By the time we got a second opinion, she wiped her eyes. Let's just say I have my own reasons for wanting the truth to come out. My phone rang. Mom again. This time I answered. Finally, she said, we need to talk. Yes, we do. How's the paediatric ward at Memorial these days? Silence. Funny how history repeats itself, I continued. You covering up medical mistakes. Only this time you used your own daughters as pawns. Who have you been talking to? Her voice was deadly quiet. Does it matter? The truth's coming out, Mum, all of it. You wouldn't dare. Watch me. I hung up and looked at Angela. Thank you for everything. She nodded. What will you do now? I opened my email, started composing a message to Melanie Taylor at the medical board. Now, I'm going to do what I should have done years ago. Your mother will fight back. Let her. I hit send. I'm done being the family insurance policy. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Daisy. Mum says you're dead to us. I smiled, feeling lighter than I had in years. Good, I typed back. Dead women tell no lies. Then I blocked both their numbers and walked out into the sunlight, ready for war. These records are disturbing, Melanie Taylor said, spreading the documents across her desk at the medical board. And you say your mother orchestrated all of this? She's been pulling strings for decades. I handed her a USB drive. This contains voice recordings, emails, and text messages showing how they plan to use my insurance coverage as a shield. Melanie plugged in the drive. Your sister's been making rounds, you know, telling everyone you're having a mental breakdown, that you're jealous of her success. Of course she has. I pulled out my phone, played the voice memo Angela had given me. Melanie's eyes widened as she listened to Daisy's drunken confession. Jesus, she muttered. And your mother? Showed up at my office yesterday. Want to see? I pulled up the security footage. There was Mom, all designer clothes and perfect hair, cornering my receptionist. Just let me access Michaela's files, Mum's voice purred. I'm her mother. I'm worried about her mental state. My receptionist stood her ground. I'm sorry, but that would be illegal. I'll make it worth your while. Melanie paused the video. She tried to bribe your staff. She tried to bribe everyone, my nurses, the lab techs, even the janitor, anything to get dirt on me. And your sister? Switches between threatening me and love-bombing me. Yesterday she sent flowers with a card saying she forgives me. This morning she told a patient I have a drug problem. My phone buzzed. Cyrus. Daisy's here. She's demanding access to her old patient files. Excuse me, I told Melanie, typing back. Deny everything. Security cameras on. Already recording, he replied. Melanie was reviewing the documentation. This goes beyond simple malpractice. This is systematic fraud. I know. Your mother's previous incident at Memorial was covered up by the hospital board, 3 of whom were golfing buddies with her brother. She leaned back. The medical board takes this very seriously, but you understand what this means. Your family isn't my family anymore. I met her eyes. They made their choice. Now I'm making mine. My phone lit up with a call from Everett. Sorry, I need to take this. Good news, he said when I answered. Remember those liability clauses you added to the partnership agreement? The ones Daisy signed without reading? They're ironclad. She explicitly accepted full responsibility for any negligence in her patient care. Your insurance company is thrilled. They can go after her personally. Mum won't like that. Your mother's got bigger problems. We found evidence she's been altering medical records at 3 different hospitals. I closed my eyes. Current records? Going back 20 years, she's been covering her tracks for decades. Melanie was watching me intently. I put the call on speaker. How bad? I asked. Federal investigation bad. Medicare fraud bad. The kind of bad that ends with jail time. My hands were steady as I ended the call. Melanie stood up. I'm calling an emergency board meeting, she said. Tomorrow morning. Be ready. I nodded, gathering my things. As I reached the door, she called out, Michaela, for what it's worth, you're doing the right thing. Outside, another text waited. Mum's crying because of you. Family meeting tonight. Be there or else. Daisy, I typed back. Or else what? Or else everyone learns what really happened to Dad. My blood ran cold. Dad's death had been ruled a heart attack, but no more manipulation, no more threats. Go ahead, I replied. Tell everyone I've got nothing left to lose. I drove straight to Cyrus's office. He took one look at my face and closed his door. What happened? I showed him Daisy's text. They're getting desperate. Good. He handed me a coffee. Desperate people make mistakes. They're threatening to reveal something about Dad's death. Let them. He sat down. The truth can't hurt you anymore. You've already lost them. Have I lost them, or have I finally found myself? My phone buzzed again. Mum. Last chance, Michaela. Come home tonight. We'll forgive you. I looked at Cyrus, smiled, and typed, You've miscalculated me. See you at the board meeting. Then I forwarded Daisy's threat about Dad to Everett with one question. Worth investigating? His response was immediate. Already on it. The next text was from Melanie. Board meeting set for 9 a.m. Bring everything. I looked at my reflection in Cyrus's window. Mum always said I was the strong one. Time to show her just how right she was. The medical board's waiting room felt like a pressure cooker. Daisy sat with her lawyer, shooting me venomous looks. Mum perched beside her, perfectly composed, except for her trembling hands. Ready? Everett asked, adjusting his tie. Before I could answer, Cyrus burst through the door. You need to see this. He thrust a folder into my hands. Just got the records from Memorial. I opened it, started reading. My heart stopped. Are you sure? Triple checked. Mum must have seen something in my expression. She stood up, smoothing her skirt. Darling, can we talk privately? No. It's about your father. Funny you should mention Dad. I held up the folder because I'd just found out what really happened that night at Memorial. Her face went ash-grey. Daisy jumped up. Mum? Sit down, Mum hissed. He wasn't there for a heart attack, was he? I continued. He was investigating you about the paediatric ward incident. You don't know what you're talking about. He was a hospital administrator, Mum. He found evidence of your negligence, multiple cases. He was going to report you. Daisy's lawyer leaned forward. Mrs. Crawford, perhaps we should— Shut up, Mum snapped. To me, she whispered, Not here. Why not? Afraid everyone will learn how you altered Dad's medication, how you made his heart attack look natural. Daisy's face crumpled. Mum, tell me she's lying. Of course she's lying. But Mum's eyes darted to the exit. The boardroom door opened. Melanie emerged. "We're ready for you." Inside, the board members sat stern-faced around a massive table. I recognised several from Dad's old photos. "Before we begin," Everett said, "I'd like to submit new evidence regarding a death at Memorial Hospital 20 years ago." "Objection!" Daisy's lawyer stood. "This hearing is about current malpractice allegations." "The incidents are connected," Everett replied, "through a pattern of deliberate negligence and cover-ups orchestrated by Rosalind Crawford." Mum launched to her feet. "This is ridiculous! I'm not the one on trial here." "Actually," Melanie said, "given the new evidence, you are." She nodded to a security guard who opened the door. 2 police detectives entered. "No," Mum whispered. "Rosalind Crawford," one detective said, "we need you to come with us." "You can't do this!" Daisy shrieked. "Michaela, stop them!" But I was watching Mom. Her perfect composure cracked, revealing something dark and desperate underneath. I did everything for this family," she spat. "Everything! Your father was going to ruin us, ruin our name. I protected us." "By killing him?" I asked quietly. "By saving our reputation?" She turned to the board. "You understand, don't you? Some of you were there. You helped me then." Several members shifted uncomfortably. "And now," I said, "they'll be investigated too." The detective stepped forward with handcuffs. Mum's eyes went wild. "Daisy was right. You were always the problem, Michaela. Too smart, too observant, just like your father." She laughed bitterly. "I should have dealt with you the same way." Gasps filled the room. The detective began reading Mom her rights. "Mum?" Daisy's voice was small, childlike. "What did you do to Daddy?" But Mum just smiled that perfect, poisonous smile as they led her away. Melanie cleared her throat. "Given these developments, we'll need to postpone the malpractice hearing." "Need to, no," I said firmly. "Daisy's negligence needs to be addressed now." "You heartless bitch!" Daisy screamed. "Our mother was just arrested." "For murder, our father's murder, or did you forget that part?" She crumpled into her chair, mascara running. "The hearing continues," Melanie announced. For the next 2 hours I presented my evidence. Every documented mistake, every missed diagnosis, every negligent decision. Daisy's lawyer tried to object, but the evidence was overwhelming. Finally, Melanie spoke. "The board has heard enough. We'll deliver our decision tomorrow morning." Outside, Daisy grabbed my arm. "How could you? How could I? How could you help her cover up Dad's murder?" "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." "But you knew about everything else. The fraud, the negligence, the plan to blame me when it all fell apart." She let go of my arm. "I was scared of her too, you know." "No," I said. "You were just like her." My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Mum, from the police station. "You'll regret this. I raised you better." I showed it to Cyrus, who'd waited outside. "You okay?" he asked. "No." I watched Daisy leave with her lawyer. "But I will be." "Your father would be proud." "Maybe." I straightened my shoulders. But more importantly, I'm proud of myself. The next text was from Everett. "Police want to interview you about your father's case." "Good," I replied. "It's time for the whole truth to come out." All of it, no matter who burns. The medical board's decision came down like a guillotine. "In light of the overwhelming evidence," Melanie read from her statement, "this board has no choice but to permanently revoke Dr. Daisy Crawford's medical license, effective immediately." Daisy sat motionless, her designer outfit wrinkled from a sleepless night. She hadn't even bothered with makeup. "Furthermore," Melanie continued, "we are forwarding all evidence of fraud and negligence to the district attorney's office for potential criminal charges." "You can't do this," Daisy whispered. "Medicine is my life." "No," I said. "It was Mom's life, her obsession, her revenge against a system she thought wronged her. You were just her puppet." She turned to me, eyes blazing. And what were you? Her conscience? Her competition? I was her insurance policy, but policies expire. The board members began gathering their things. Melanie approached me privately. "The police want to exhume your father's body," she said quietly. "They'll need your consent." "They have it." I handed her the signed form. "I want to know everything." "Your mother's not taking it well. She's demanding to see you." "Of course she is." I checked my phone, 17 missed calls from the county jail. "She wants to manipulate me one last time." Daisy's lawyer hurried past, abandoning his client. Smart man. "You were never family," Daisy suddenly screamed, making everyone freeze. "Just a competitor, a threat. Mum was right about you." "Mum's in jail for murder. Because of you. Because she killed our father. He was going to destroy everything." The room went deadly quiet. Melanie's pen clattered to the floor. "What did you say?" I asked. Daisy's hands flew to her mouth, but it was too late. "You knew," I whispered. "You knew about Dad." I was 13. Mum said he was having an affair, that he was going to leave us. She said the medication mix-up was an accident." Everett was already recording on his phone. "When did you learn the truth?" I asked. "Last year." She wouldn't meet my eyes. "Mum got drunk after a dinner party, started talking about how she'd protected us, how Dad's self-righteous morality would have ruined our family name." "And you kept quiet." "She was our mother. He was our father." Melanie nodded to the security guard, who pulled out his radio. Within minutes, 2 detectives entered the room. "We heard everything," one said, helping Daisy up. "You'll need to come with us." "No, please." She tried to grab my arm. "Michaela, don't let them." I stepped back. "Like you didn't let them take Mom. You don't understand. She'll destroy me if I talk." "She can't hurt anyone anymore." The detectives led her away, reading her rights. Her last words echoed down the hallway. "I hate you. I've always hated you." Cyrus appeared at my side. "You okay?" "No." I watched through the window as they put Daisy in a police car. "But I will be." "The staff's asking questions. Tell them the truth, all of it." My phone buzzed, a reporter wanting comment, then another and another. "It's going to get ugly," Everett warned. "It's been ugly for 20 years, I replied. "At least now it's honest." Melanie handed me a final document. "The board completely clears you of any wrongdoing. Your practice can continue without restriction." "Thank you." "No," she said firmly. "Thank you for having the courage to expose this." Outside, reporters swarmed. Questions flew. "Did you know about your mother's history?" "Was your sister involved in the cover-up?" "How long have you suspected your father's death wasn't natural?" I faced them calmly. 20 years ago, my father died trying to expose medical negligence. Today, that truth finally came to light. No more questions. Cyrus drove me home. In my driveway, he asked, "What now?" "Now?" I looked at my phone, a text from the detective. "Your mother's asking for you. Says she'll confess everything, but only to you." "Are you going?" Cyrus asked. "Yes." I got out of the car. "But not as her daughter, as my father's witness." "Be careful." "Always am." I managed a small smile. "That's why I'm still standing." Inside, I opened my laptop and began typing. "Dear Medical Board, I hereby request a full investigation into all cases handled by Rosalind Crawford during her tenure at Memorial Hospital." My phone buzzed one last time, a message from an unknown number. "You were always your father's daughter. He'd be proud. Love, Uncle Jim." Memorial Hospital Board. Retired. I wiped away a tear and kept typing. The truth wouldn't bring Dad back, but it would make sure his death meant something. And maybe, just maybe, it would help me sleep at night. The prison visiting room smelled of disinfectant and despair. Mum sat across from me, orange jumpsuit replacing her designer clothes, her perfect makeup gone. "You look tired," she said. "Testifying in 2 criminal trials will do that." She folded her hands, still perfectly manicured even here. "I hear Daisy took a plea deal. 5 years for conspiracy after the fact. She's lucky." "And me? The DA's pushing for life without parole. Dad's autopsy was enlightening." She flinched. Finally, a crack in the facade. "Why did you want to see me?" I asked. "To explain?" "No." I leaned forward. "The real reason." She matched my posture. "You're the only one left. The only one who can preserve our family's reputation." I laughed. "Still worried about reputation?" "It's all we have." "No, it's all you had. I have something better now. Truth." Her eyes narrowed. "Truth is relative." "Not according to the forensics report." I pulled out a document. "Want to know what they found in Dad's tissue samples? The exact cocktail of medications you used. How long he suffered." "Stop." "He was conscious, Mom. At the end, he knew what you'd done." Her hands trembled. "He was going to destroy everything I'd built. He was going to expose your negligence, your fraud, your God complex." "I was protecting my patients." "By falsifying their records, by covering up your mistakes." I shook my head. "By killing the one person who tried to hold you accountable." She reached for my hand. I pulled back. "Michaela, please, I can't die in here." "Like Dad died in that hospital room, alone, betrayed." Tears smeared her prison makeup. "I'm your mother." "No, you're just the woman who killed my father." I stood up. She grabbed my arm. "Wait, don't you want to know why? The whole story?" "I already know the whole story, every detail, every death you covered up, every young doctor you manipulated. It's all coming out in the trial." "You'll be alone," she whispered. "No family left." "I'm not alone." I showed her my phone's lock screen, a photo of me with my clinic staff. I built my own family, one based on trust, not threats. The guard approached. "Time's up." Mum stood desperately. "What about Daisy? She needs you." "Daisy made her choice, just like you made yours." "And you? What choice are you making?" I turned back at the door. "I'm choosing Dad. I'm choosing truth. I'm choosing myself." Walking out, I found Cyrus waiting. "How'd it go?" "She's still trying to manipulate me, even now." "And Daisy?" "Pleading guilty, testifying against Mom." I checked my watch. "Speaking of testimony, we've got that medical board ethics panel in an hour. You sure you want to do this? They need to hear it, all of it. How systemic corruption lets people like my mother flourish. How many patients suffered." My phone buzzed. "Melanie, panel's ready when you are. You're doing the right thing." Outside the prison, I stopped at Dad's favourite coffee shop. The barista smiled. "The usual?" "Actually, no." I looked at the menu. "I'll try something new today." Back in my car, I opened my laptop to review my presentation to the ethics panel. The title slide read, "Breaking the Cycle, Identifying and Preventing Systemic Medical Negligence." Cyrus read over my shoulder. "Your father would be proud." "I know." I took a sip of my new coffee choice. But more importantly, I'm proud. For the first time in my life, I'm not carrying anyone else's secrets. Ready to face the panel? Ready to face anything? My phone lit up. A message from Uncle Jim. "Board meeting's packed, standing room only. They're ready to listen." I started the car. "Time to make some changes. They won't all like what you have to say." "Good." I smiled. Maybe they'll finally wake up. The drive to the medical board felt different this time. Lighter, clearer, like the morning after a storm. My presentation was open on my laptop. The evidence was organised. The truth was ready. They thought I would fall. What they never imagined is I'd dance in the ashes. and I was ready to dance, not for revenge, not for justice, but for change, real change, because sometimes the best way to honor the dead is to protect the living, and I was just getting started.